Alrighty, welcome back, everybody. It is me, Mario, the Go Back Gamer, and I'm here with the usual suspects, the Go Back crew. Um, we're on another winning decks review for once again Japanese format. We're gonna look at English eventually. We'll have some actual results post ban list pretty soon, but for Japanese format, there's a lot of things going on. New decks, some new scary stuff.
What's that
Maybe
big
the return
banner?
of a standby after standby being death or dead here.
Yeah,
But
the
Standby,
overview.
yeah.
Yeah, the overview of what the post ban list looks like here. We finally have some results.
Yep. But as per usual, same thing. We got like a slightly different format here. We got some translations for everybody just so that they can follow along what we're talking about. And we're just gonna go over the deck list like how we did last time and just discuss it as a group. We're gonna go ahead and move to talk about the boogeyman of the format here. The Love Live set that just came out. Um, so
Very
yeah,
efficient.
you wanna
standby
talk
deck.
about this one, AGS
Yeah,
player?
yeah. So yes, Bushiroad, after taking the second swing of the axe at Alice Gear to say standby decks that heal down repeatedly are not okay, they release a standby deck that heals down repeatedly. That's probably more intuitive than what Alice Gear was. There's a lot of in the middle here on the translations. We have most of the core of the deck. The Foolish Burial 0/0 can put any of the traded characters for the standby deck into graveyard. Basically, every standby target you would ever hope to put into discard with this effect is in trait, so it's not really that big of a deal that it's traded. And it also bounces back to hand on cancel, so a very core card along with the combo that will heal when it is standbyed or placed by the act ability of a card that most lists do not run. The one combo is the last part of the puzzle here with the most important part of it is that it has the ability to pay one when you at the start of an attack phase to look at top two cards of your deck and stand a character with Megami in its name, which is pretty much every standby target you would hope to bring out, if not all of them. Both 2/2/2s are Megami is a Megami, as well as a 1/1 if you want to do a level 0 standby. So at whatever point in the game you want to do, you're probably standbying something that's targetable by this, and you get the top check knowledge, so you can not trigger on your first attack. Very effective game plan.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen the power of like Foolish Burial. I mean, like Nino
Yeah.
Foolish Burial on a standby deck is just like ridiculous. The same thing
And
with the
this one
Pawn.
bounces back. Yippee!
Yeah, this one has the Rene on cancel, so you have to you actually have to hit them for damage, and it's very yeah, just like a really dumb card. And they also have a lot of other things going on in the set. They have like Kome, they have the Twin Driver that's a bomb and stuff like that. They have the 2/2 that's just you could just send it to stock to bounce back to hand. Like that thing's crazy.
That pro card's basically just one of the 2/1 bouncers we see time and time again, but on a 2/2 because you pay 2 stock, but one of them's getting refunded if you do use the effect.
Or it's free.
If you stand by it, yippee!
You stand by it, and then hand on core it can just be a hand of stock that messes
Yeah.
with the opponent's game state. So pretty good.
This set just has a whole lot of insane double profiles everywhere.
Yeah, I mean they literally have Aki Icy Tail basically. Or Aki Icy Tail pretty much on a level 3 on an off finisher. Like
yeah, if burn
Off
3
finisher Icy Tail 6, a little good.
if burn 3 on the actual finisher isn't enough for you on the standby deck, yeah, you can just relive 2023's greatest hits with Aki for the low cost of 3 stock in 1 ditch.
they do also have some funny stuff here. Like the door finisher is pretty popular. It's basically kind of like a reverse Icy Tail. The mill bottom 3 if it's all clean, burn 1 4 times. Well, I have played this deck enough times to say that that effect does not ever hit. It is still kind of relevant just because, like, you know, if if you gamble your games, then you win.
But what if
The
it does
casino's
hit?
pretty cool. Yeah, it's the
What if-
casino.
Does
What
hit?
if it does hit and your opponent cancels 4 times in a row?
I would never.
Yeah. The other big potential splash out of this set would be the 3/2 choice finisher, which, if you read through the effects, might start to rhyme with a finisher from, what was that, 2020?
Yo, she's
That speed ran the
back.
ban list. Yeah. Very similar to the Kurumi and Data Live. Got banned on standby, ruined the game, and basically brought us into the format that we're in now. Not as powerful because it doesn't have a shuffleback mode. But it
Also
does
notably
have
not on standby.
Is
That's
yeah, that's like
also a difference.
That's pretty big
It's
difference.
Very big
pretty
difference.
big
It is a very
difference.
good finisher. But yeah, it being on choice does make it a lot more fair than Kurumi. You can't bring it out early. You can't. I mean, like you can standby it out if you want to go like that kind of crazy, but it can't be like Kurumi where you basically get to like standby out 2 of them and then say, "Hey, here's my finisher at level 2." Um, thankfully,
Yeah.
you 3 didn't have to experience that. So yeah, we can go ahead and take a look at the deck list here. So there's a couple here. Obviously, the standby decks is the biggest one of this set. It's the thing that's being performing the most. The second to that is the door pants deck, which is being casinoed basically. The people who are winning with it, they must be lucky. So,
They,
Just
over in Japan, they only do like 4 or 5 shuffles at most. So that's probably how they're winning games. People just don't shuffle evenly.
I mean, honestly, the core of the deck is still pretty fine. They do just have the I don't even know what the original version of is it, but I just know it is the Kirito from 10th anniversary, the Mill X, the Operation Tornado, but you can choose how much you mill. It also has on play Akatsuki for resonating, so like it has like a consistent core, and it's basically on a Marine costed finisher, so it gets there to do the combo. It just the combo gambles.
extremely consistent deck, extremely inconsistent finisher.
Correct.
For people who only want to gamble at the very end of the game.
The choice deck, it seemed that there's a couple options for the bottom end of that deck. I know it seems like the one that people have mostly been gravitating towards is the level 1 combo.
Yeah, it's the Shimakaze on reverse, right? And then it just check 2 or Emoka's yourself. That's what it is.
Yes.
So you can like set up these cancels. I mean it is a
Deck
choice,
thin.
so you do get like a lot of extra stock to play around with.
You get to proactively deck thin throughout the combo turn. So like you get to start moving cards that are clean, make sure you leave a clean trigger, then search again, thin more. It loops itself. It gets into a good play pattern if you get the reverses, but definitely is going to be the question of if on that.
Yeah, exactly. I think the biggest portion of it is the fact that they do get to run that they are running the Kome. The Kome is just like really strong, obviously.
Yeah. The Kome is really strong for helping the non-pants decks in this
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
set. Because standby gets to run yellow without any problems. So
The standby gets to run 4 Foolish Burial.
yeah, standby is running Foolish Burial, and standby is running the on play check 3 for a climax. So it's always going to slam a climax and get every turn.
Yeah, and like the standby list, running back around to those is I like the fact that you can optionally heal like 2 to 3 times in a turn, because you can like trigger standby, or you can play the standby, heal once, trigger a standby to heal another once, and like if you decide to play the early play in your deck, you can also just play the early play that heals too. So it really is just kind of like it's it's like AGS all over
It
again.
is
They also have a-
Schmagus.
There's also a level 3 assister that is tap pay 2 to heal.
To heal. Yeah, basically.
They have all the healing options in the world that they need.
Stay at level 2. Stay at level 2 and live.
Staying at level 2 has been more meta before, but this is pretty close.
Yeah. This set is definitely pretty pushed in its like power level. We'll see if the other decks that aren't standby like attempts to perform well, or if they do. The Kurumi
Yeah.
finisher obviously still has like a lot of potential there for being like an actual consistent and explosive finisher. The I still don't have that many high feelings about the door finisher, but You know, and like I
Yeah.
said, casino.
I
But
think
burn 1 12 times.
It can burn one, so that's crazy. That's Escanor.
the most striking part of the standby deck, I think, is just not even that it has all these strong effects, but just how well they come together. I don't think I've seen a. It's been a while since I've seen a deck printed that has this many good effects that mesh together quite as well as this. Feels like Bushiroad has been on us printing strong effects that don't have concise decks that make a lot of sense. Look at Nikkei and how they came up with a deck list that works, has good
I
stuff
mean,
in
this
it.
one
But
has to be intended though. Like they
yeah,
had a plan with this one because it's all
Yeah.
in trait.
Everything just kind of
It's all in
works.
trait. There's like a name specification. Like they planned something here. So
Yeah.
this was intentionally designed, which is more than it feels like a lot of have been in terms of power levels like this. So this deck is just out the gate very strong, very easy to solve, and it's going to get a lot of mileage out of that.
yeah.
Indeed.
It's good stuff. Standby.
Yeah, and we'll see if any like deck lists evolve over time too, because I want to see if they adapt anywhere, if there's like the format changes for them in like any kind of way with other set releases. But I think like the core of it's probably going to be pretty similar. Um, at least for like how these lists look like. I mean, we're going to be running like the 4 Foolish Barrel and stuff like that, and the 4 probably like 3 to 4 the Twin Drivers, 3 to 4 Ricos and stuff like that.
3 to 4 Komes, Yippee.
Yep,
So
yeah.
much of the deck list is predetermined that
yeah.
Very intended package.
Yeah.
Speaking of standby, we have some other standby decks to talk about because there happen to be a pretty big ban list. So, we're gonna be going over quite a bit of them. In terms of effects here, not too much to talk about. If you guys want to refer back to this, we're just gonna kind of go over the rest of these portions. We just did Love Live because it's new, but these have been out. And so we're just gonna move forward and talk about them as we go. With the first one being shiny colors. So this deck got ripped apart.
Oh yeah.
Having only one copy of the 1/1 is crazy. So that was their biggest advantage engine, and so now they're just kind of like working with what they got. I noticed a lot in these deck lists that they're running this 3/2. I think it's like in the top left deck list. I unfortunately don't know the names of any of these characters. I don't know shiny colors like that. But it's the one with like the light blue background. From what I remember, I believe it's like an early play that if you have, it's like one of the level zeros in your clock or in your level, I believe. And it's just like a 15 global assist. I think it like bonds to an event. But it seems like some of the lists have adapted to playing this card now, just to kind of get like a bigger board going on. But they've generally lost a lot of their major cards. Like they're still on the 3/2 burn or on attack burn, but they're not play. They can't play the Fumio that went with it. Which I barely learned that Fumio was on attack. By the way, I didn't know that Fumio was on play and on attack.
Yeah, it's on play and
Yeah,
on
it's
attack.
just,
Yeah.
for whatever reason, felt like it.
When
So good thing they got rid of it.
Well, as I was hearing about it, I was like, "Oh, are they just like discovering this?" And then the ban list came on, and I was like, "Oh yeah, they know." Then
Yeah,
it
like-
was very good that they hit it as soon as they did.
Notably, I think some of these lists are very jumbled in terms of like the cards now. There's just so many like random different quantities that I don't even know. So I don't even know all the cards here.
Yeah,
like
they're
this
trying
bottom
to.
left runs running this level 0 that has like the same kind of background as the level 3 I was just talking about. Like I don't even know what that does.
Yeah, they're trying out a lot of things in the vacuum of losing some of their core pieces here. The deck doesn't seem like it's showing up nearly as much after
yeah.
the ban list. Not being able to have 2 of the 1/1s is pretty impactful, and possibly never seeing it at all is pretty impactful.
You mean 4 of the 1/1s? They were running 4.
Well, I meant getting 2 of it to stage.
Oh, 2 of it. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, like not being able to ever double it. Maybe sometimes never even seeing it is hurts a lot. I know they also just they typically didn't want to lean on the finisher that is actually the combo. They wanted to lean on the off finisher that got banned out of the deck. So Their
Yo,
numbers
but
just are a lot worse.
Shout out to the bottom right deck list for having the Cocochino, the off finisher, and not playing the level 1 combo. I don't even know what the other standby combo is, if it even is a combo, if it's just a blank standby, but they're running it. They want
Yeah.
that finisher line.
I think it is a combo. I think it might be the top left card. I cannot guarantee that, but I think it might be that top left card.
The top
No,
left card?
it's
No,
not.
that's
It's
the
not.
disc draw.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if they actually, if there is a combo here.
Is it the second one down in the middle?
Second one
The
down in
level
the middle.
1. I think that that might be like the older.
Wait, you said second one down in the middle, so the 2 of?
It's either that or the 2 of on the far right of that.
I think it's the 2. It could be the 2 of on the far right. The 2 of in the middle is the bounce backer for the deck.
Okay.
So maybe the 2 of on the right. I don't know. I just don't know shiny colors like that. So
Yeah, this deck only
Either way,
showed up at our
their deck lists
locals.
are pretty ripped apart. I wonder if they're gonna. Yeah, it's one thing. Again, I wonder if there's gonna be like a consistent list that they end up discovering. Like, there's a lot of diversity going on with these lists. This actual
They're
pile of
still
cards. When we get to Hololive,
improvising.
oh,
Yeah.
I'll tell you about pile of cards though.
Yeah, this looks like people holding on to the good cards they're still allowed to run and then grasping for straws with the rest.
Oh yeah, huh? That's gonna be pretty. You're gonna be saying that again, huh?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the next deck. Let's talk about Nino. So once again, Nino affected by the ban list. Was one of the best standby decks. And now it's just kind of existing. It obviously lost a lot of power because they made what was it? It was a choice 4 or choice 5. I can't remember.
So
It's-
it's a choice 5 now. They added the Foolish Burial and what was that other one?
Oh, it's like the clock search. The clock
Yes,
search,
yes.
You know? Yeah.
Yes, the clock search, you know. So those were added to a choice 3, it looks like.
So it looks like both of these lists have adapted to both sides of it, I think. So the right side kept the Foolish Burials, which is what I would do. The Foolish Burials, in my opinion, too strong to not play.
Hard so impactful, yeah.
But the left list, I believe that Nino, that's right above the Ichika, is the clock search. I want to say that's what that is. Because they're obviously not running the Foolish Burial on this list,
Yeah.
because it would just be a foil copy of that. I'm certain. And notably, once again, they're running the Ichika Ricky, so that's just a +2 Ricky on death, I believe. It might be on play, but I'm pretty sure it's on death.
On play +2 Ricky would be a very strange profile.
It does exist. It does.
It exists, but it's not common.
But yeah, I believe that was just the on death. And also, wait, this one's not running the level 3. Wait, what is this thing running? Is it just off finishers?
Oh,
It's running the 2/2 combo. I didn't even catch that.
interesting.
the first
Which
time.
one
That's
are you-
interesting.
Wait, which one are you looking at? The left or the right?
The left list. It's not running the level 3.
There's a level 3 combo in the middle there. They're running movie finisher then, right? They're running the stake standbys.
Hold,
It's a 2 of
hold.
level 3 up there.
Oh yes, you're correct.
Okay,
That
okay,
is-
Movie
yeah.
finisher?
They're running
Yeah,
fake
yeah.
standby, yeah.
Yeah, so they're running the limit 2 on their thing. So
Yeah,
they are running just through the Nina. I don't know the combos because they're foiled.
Yeah,
so-
SPs, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like a
Wow.
burn, isn't it? Isn't it just like a burn?
Yeah, it's an end of battle burn 3. That's
Yeah.
the level 3. I just thought they weren't running a finisher. I thought they were on like 2/2 and 1/1 combo for a minute.
Yeah, I can see the little red glare there to tell me.
Wait, is the 1/1 combo here?
Not on the left list, it's on the right list, right?
Oh
Wait, so then
the
what
heck?
are they running on the left list?
What is this Nina? There's so many. What
Hold
are these
on,
people
hold on.
running?
I have found it.
Oh,
It is. Let's see. If the character facing this card is cost 0 or lower, this cannot become reversed. It is that
Yeah.
card.
It is that
Wait,
card, and then the one on the
wait.
right is the Adachi. The
no.
one to the right is the
No,
Adachi.
the one to the
I mean,
right is
Jake,
can't
Jake.
be reversed by cost 0.
Jake, are you looking at the one on the far right?
Oh, you were. I thought you were talking about the 4 of
No,
one.
we're talking about the 0/0 on
We
the
are
left.
talking about the 4.
Oh my
No.
God. Okay, let me streamline.
Okay, I have
Okay.
the one.
Oh,
you want
the
the
one
one,
on
the
the
one of,
left.
right? I see it right now.
No, I don't want the one
Wait.
of. I want the 4 of.
The 4 of is that. Wait.
Are these the
These are-
same card?
They're the same card, different name. It's
Oh,
fucking
okay.
Red Tiger.
okay.
Oh,
That's
running
got
side
it.
of it.
Okay, got it. I got it.
Because I looked and there's another one right next to it and it's a different name. So yeah, it's
Oh
the
my
same
God.
card.
You
It's just
spent,
running
like,
It's just the
4
same
minutes getting
card.
confused
Oh
over the
my
same
God.
card.
It's alright.
Okay, cool. They're running 5 copies. This is because it's a 1K1 format. Thank you.
Oh,
we
that's
can cut
so
this out
funny.
in post. We can maybe cut out part of that goose
Yeah,
chase in
yeah.
post.
It's whatever. It's whatever. We
Yeah, we
found
might
out what it
actual
was.
fast forward.
So they're
That was
running
awesome.
four copies of it, and it makes sense. Standby is not like as big.
They're running
issue as it is.
5 copies of it.
They're running
Running five
5 copies of it. Okay, but like that, like you're in like the entire like level
Look.
1 to 2 game or 0 to 2
Look.
game. Like they don't have to worry about like
After
anything.
Bushiroad killed all the standby decks, that card's an infinite plus. It goes
Exactly.
plus
Exactly.
No
infinite.
one's gonna ever kill it. That's like actually
ever-
kind of valid.
Have you ever seen
I mean,
Nobody's
like,
gonna play Love
Jojo?
Life.
No one's gonna play Love Live.
No one's
Okay.
gonna play
We can
Love
move
Live
on.
deck.
All right, so we have the Fruit of Grisaya, the Grisesi itself. Yes, this list has not changed in terms of what they decided to play. They're still playing the board-based one with the swapping level 3 to give the on reverse, and they're playing like the 4 to like 6 events or whatever. They have
Yeah.
tap counter and basically the Nino event, which is the heal 2.
Yeah, I thought maybe after every other standby deck got shot, they might have tried going more towards the set 2 finisher to just play a more normal game plan. But it seems that is not what has at least been being placed
I
at tops right
actually
now.
kind of thought the opposite. Like I thought this list would become a lot more popular because there's no other board-based standby decks. This deck against the board-based standby decks felt like okay. I mean, like you could top deck then do like the clock kick, or I mean the burn 4. But even after that, like there's not going to be a lot of things contesting your board now because you don't also have to like crash into your stuff because your level 1 combo is worse into that format too. So there's like
The-
some room here for this to be better, and I mean it's kind of showing its colors. I think this one, I still think this deck has a lot of potential to be like one of the better of the decks in this format.
They're all running the 2-1 that gives you the kind of leaf a counter when you when something dies to it. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, they get to play that more comfortably now because
Yeah, pretty
there's
much.
not as much board fighting.
Yeah, there's not a ton to talk about because the list hasn't really changed. But if it does, we could probably talk a little bit more
I
about it.
think the most interesting part of the deck right now, well, talking about the deck, is that its performance has been pretty steady after the ban list, at least.
Yeah.
So people are at least like sticking with this deck, even though the other standby decks that are like it's supposed to quote unquote counter left the format, this deck is still seeing prominence. So looks like a good sign for the list that it might just be part of the meta going forward.
Yeah, I don't think there's too much to discuss here. We can go to the next deck, which
Oh, it's
Yep.
Nick's time to
AGS.
mourn.
Yeah, you
it's
can-
time
you
to
can
mourn the death of
mourn.
Yeah,
this deck.
here's some piles of cope. I think the most. Yeah, they're just running the cards that they're allowed to run still, and then putting in cards that may be plus on board at different points in the game for the rest of the deck list. That's really all they've done. The most interesting choice, I think, is the top left deck list. They're running a grand total of 12 cards that spawn out copies of cards from deck. The 1/1 yellow in the middle of that top one is the Meliodas from Seven Deadly Sins, if you're familiar with that card. And then the cards to the right of that are just a pair of a duo that says that the other one's on board. They become 3Ks with Twin Drive, cross turn 3Ks, and if on play you can ditch one to spawn the other one from deck. So
Do they both
helps you.
spawn each other?
Yeah, they're both the same card, just
Oh,
written
that's
for the
cool,
other
okay.
one.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
they go
um,
both ways.
Funny thing is, Love Live has a similar. The new Love Live set
Yeah,
has a similar package for that, so that's kind of
very
funny. But
similar.
only one spawns the one or the other, not both of them spawn.
So that
I
one's
think
running
one
that.
of
The other is pretty cool. It's pretty beneficial, actually.
I
Yeah.
think every deck list I've seen is running the the card below those on the top left deck list, the one where she's holding like the frying pan or
Oh yeah,
whatever.
Yeah.
That's just on it. It attacks at like a decent number, like 2/5, I think. And then it's the beginning of opponent's draw phase. You can mill 2, and if there's a level 2 among those cards, you can bounce it to hand. So they're just trying to.
Yeah, Roja bouncer.
We're just trying to get cards back in hand however we can because we don't have a level 0 to do that for SNE.
Yeah.
I mean,
How big
they
do
still
the
have
ones that spawn each other out? How big are they?
3K cross turn.
Both 3K. Okay, that's pretty solid for being able to both get each other. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, I've become accustomed to the Love Live version of them, so I'm actually kind of down with those kind of cards.
Yeah, the Love Live ones are gross.
I feel like it's pretty decent. There is some bigger body level 0s in the Japanese format sometimes, so it's a little spooky, but we are trending smaller, so maybe they get mileage.
I just think having like 2 to 3 lanes of twin drive is like it's like kind of nice.
The twin drive is the most.
You can create value by
like
triggering the standby, so like that's also another thing you can do. It gives you like a pitch outlet, I guess, for your standby targets. It's like not a terrible package.
As far as I can tell, though, the only like unfortunate part of that is that I don't think the Meliodas and those can be online at the same time, unfortunately, because I think they all say that the other copy they're pairing with needs to be in center stage with them. So
that's rough, yeah.
I don't think there's actual board space for everything to be online at the same time.
I guess in the context of that, it's a little worse, but I mean, it's still
it's not the end of the world. You can make that work. It does suck a little bit though. Makes things a little more awkward.
The more likely play pattern is you're doing 2 lanes of whatever duo you have plus the bounce backer. That's what you're.
Yeah, that would make
sense. Deciding to run those, so it's not a really popular decision, but
makes sense for where the deck is, though.
Yeah, I respect it.
Yeah, I mean, I respect that. I respect that portion of it, but maybe other people will end up trying that out too. Other than that, I mean, it's still trying to do or attempt to do the same thing. It's just trying to get the level 1 healing going, and if it does, it probably wins. I mean, it did perform pretty well in teams apparently. So
yeah,
it's still got that going for it.
Shoutouts to the guy. I'm not sure if it's a meta call, if it's going to go anywhere or not, but we got the 8-shot Alice gear down here in the bottom left.
Oh yeah, let's go 8-shot.
Yeah.
This is that guy like too.
One of my pet decks. It's a fun. It basically just says we're going to get to level 2, do Alice, and then we're going to get to level 3, do kind of Marine. And
almost the reason I built the deck because I love shot. Shot's so good.
Yeah, it's a pretty efficient deck because the Alice combo pairs with a Resonator, so you can refund the climax if you have it pile up. And early in the game, you can also do basically 4 hand pluses on your level 2 turn, so you can go pretty.
Yeah, I mean, having an Alice like combo is already just pretty strong. A mid game option like that is going to be good.
Yeah, it's a cool deck list. It'll have more room to breathe now that there's less standby decks breathing down its neck, and it can compete on board pretty well with Love Live if that starts becoming the expectation. So, could be a deck that shows up.
Yep. What do we got here? We got Hololive. Oh yeah, okay. So this is actual pile of cards, the decks, pretty much because of this.
Nothing has like.
They will never die. They will do something.
They will always come back. They hit you with the 5 Nights at Freddy's.
I was about to say like nothing changed, right? And then I realized they actually just lost the Mio or lost the Luna.
Some people lost the Mio. Some people lost the Luna. People are trying out a lot of things, but the thing that is consistent here, that's seeing a little bit more play is this tiny Iris package. It's basically a 1/1 Iris that just says if you have the Brainstorm Iris, it's like a twin driver and it has a hand encore. So like that's pretty much the biggest difference in terms of what people are starting to play now. They definitely do like this card. And like I think it's represented in 3 of the lists here. It's in 3. The only one that's not running this package is the top right. But the difference is whether you run Mio, Luna, or you're running Kali, they're still trying to piece everything together. Last time what we saw was the potential remnants of a deck by running the Subaru like tricolor thing, like the Benimaru basically. But it seems like they're kind of getting a little bit more streamlined. They're either trying to run the Luna or they might be trying to run the Oski. as like the main, I guess, like off finisher defensive level 3.
The most interesting thing to me is that seems like the deck list have all consolidated away from being Oski Polka. They're just Oski Choco now consistently.
Yeah. Yep.
And yeah, it seems like the Luna is a more popular choice than I was expecting it to be for the ban list.
Me too. Yeah. I'm in agreement.
Yeah.
I mean, the Mio just seems like one of the biggest reasons to play all Live 8 standby versus one of the new ones coming out, but the Iris package is a pretty cool replacement if you do. Although it looks like the person who is running running Luna is not running the Iris, so who knows?
Oh yeah, they aren't. No.
Wait.
Is it in
At least
there?
the bottom right one is.
No,
The bottom
it is.
right?
It is, right?
It is in
Oh,
there.
it is. The bottom
Yeah,
right
it's
one
the
is.
third.
Okay.
It's
has
the
it.
third row.
The top
Yeah.
right deck doesn't have it.
The top
Yeah,
right
but
deck
they're also
doesn't have
not
the
running
package,
Luna.
okay.
So
Top right's on its own little adventure.
yeah.
Okay.
they're
Okay,
they're
so
doing
the
their
the
own
ones
thing.
that are trying to stay green are running the Iris.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can hard play the Lunas now, where you, as before, kind of didn't want to, but you would say I'd rather keep my Mio in hand than hard play a Luna.
A 1/1 Twin Driver makes a lot of sense for the deck list. We've seen that in Ayakashi standby a bit.
Yeah.
Just a strong profile to have hand on core Twin Driver.
I do like that profile. It's just kind of handy to have in standby.
It also can beat over boards a little bit nicely because the Iris is like whenever you trigger a soul trigger, you pump something 1k. So it can kind of get big. There used to be a deck that it was like known for doing this. It was a type. I forgot what Love Live variant it was. But they also had like 1/1 twin drivers that like when they triggered a standby, they got like bigger cross turn. So it was like kind of similar to
Okay.
that. This I think with the Luna variant of this deck, it's probably still going to be pretty decent because Luna is just like a crazy standby card, and the fact that they're finding a way to run it still is it's a little scary. But
They will
Yeah.
always find a way.
I
They will
feel
also-
like
They found
I
a
feel
way
like that
faster than we
Luna-
did.
Sorry, what were you saying, Nick?
I feel like Luna's gonna leave the format. I think Luna's gonna leave the format not necessarily because of the ban list. It might be because Love Life is now forever a
Yeah,
bomb.
Yeah,
So that might be the reason that might be the breaking point for them
Oh.
deciding to take something else on the ban list and go to Mio instead.
that's fair. Yeah, that's a fair assumption to make.
Yeah.
Because when the biggest deck in the format, well, or potentially biggest deck in the format's just running a bomb, and then there's also ReZero running the Ricky bomb they have.
Yep,
So
yeah.
two of the big dogs right now are very painful for Luna to deal with. So I feel like it's gonna go away soon.
That's
Yeah.
very
That's fair. That's a fair argument to make. But yeah, I think that's a fair point to Hololive. We'll see what their deck list adapts to. I'm gonna move on here. We got some of the 1k1 decks we're gonna be talking about here.
Mostly
this-
1k1.
I mean the Nikkei deck's basically 1k1 almost.
Yeah.
Once again, same thing. You guys can use this as a reference for the cards we'll talk about, just some translation of some of the important cards. But we'll move on to the actual first one here, which is going to be Nikkei. We did discuss this last time. We were talking about the standby door variant, which hasn't changed a lot since post ban list. I mean, it was already good at what it does against both kinds of decks. It was good against standby. It was good against the 1k1 decks, so it just kind of chills. I think the one I want to talk about here first is the 8-door deck because it is kind of popping up a little bit. And it is doing something slightly different, which I do think is important.
I haven't seen this deck yet.
So pretty much what to talk about here is that they're, instead of playing the standby and like the the one or two of finishers that they decide to play in there, they're playing the extra door and they're playing the Red Hood finisher. This Red Hood finisher basically has a way to be early played off of the 2/1 blue card that they have.
Which is a level 3 assister.
Yeah, it basically makes all your doors into soul triggers, and it makes your Red Hood an early play.
Right.
And so I feel like it's basically it's what I've described before, but it's doing what the standby deck was trying to do. But it's like slightly more aggressive because all your doors are gonna be soul triggers. And you can like slam this clock kicker at level 2 to like answer problems. and then goes to memory and it comes back as like an actual finisher. And there a lot of these lists that I've been seeing at least, not just these two that are here. They have like the fake shot card that also free fresh. So there's like I said, I feel like it's just trying to get in a lot of damage, slam these doors, or trying to slam the door every turn, for their level 1 combo, just like the other one, and um, trying to be a little bit more, I guess, proactive instead of like chilling like the standby deck does. Whereas the standby deck will like, just play like an early play heal, call it a day.
Try to win board really hard, stall out. This deck's trying a lot harder to actually kill you.
Yeah.
They're trying to help them get the door every turn. They are running the check 3 brainstormer in the top list. They're running that exclusively for brainstorm, which is a bit of a difference from the standby list. Instead of running the level 1 brainstormer, they're running that check 3 brainstorm just to try to find the doors, because they're not trying to chill as much. They want violence. Really good line for the deck is with that fake shot, they can play it out to free fresh if their deck is low enough, because that card does have a line of text on it. And then if they get the 4 characters on board after that point, they can use the Alice early play healer and basically heal twice for 3 stock.
Yep.
Without having to place over anything, which is just a very good play pattern if they can get it off.
As you were talking about them running the check 3, they both of these lists that we see on the left here, they're also running the twin drivers too. That is what it does, right? The blue
Level 1 blue twin driver attacks at
Yeah.
like 6k or something, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah.
Is this what color is the brainstorm in the other one? It's yellow, right? That's probably
Yeah, the yellow level 1 brainstorm, yeah.
Yeah, so we're like, it's because we're half splashing blue here, pretty much is the reason why.
Yeah.
They're trying to
kinda
get
have
out of yellow. They're getting out of yellow pretty hard, it looks like, in those lists. I mean, they have enough yellow to maybe get away with it, but it's in the standby deck list, you don't ever have to level blue. Whereas in this deck list, you have to level blue because that is your part of your early play condition for the Red Hood. So this deck has to get into blue pretty quickly. Whereas standby never needs blue. The only blue cards they have are standby targets.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
I actually do. I really do like this 8-door list. I don't know why. There's something appealing about it to me, but I already did love the standby door list. I pretty much like any deck list that isn't the bar deck, because
Yeah.
they're doing more interesting things.
The door finisher is a very interesting design. Not
Yeah.
really something we've seen. It goes to memory at end of turn, and then if you place the climax, it will basically Cocochino on climax place and come to board.
Yep.
For another clock kick, which basically means over the course of 2 turns, 1 lane of it can give you 4 burn 1s that 2 of them are uncancelable. So pretty good bang for buck if you get it off. We still have the play patterns with the tap counter, if that is something that they can do. That's also still an icy tail, so they just have good finisher lines if
I
they
do
just
think
play
it's
it low to
cool
the
when
ground.
the fact that it memories itself and comes back. It basically is just like a floating, like kind of like a floating threat, I guess you can call it. Like once you use it, it's in memory. It's like, oh, that my finisher turn is gonna be like, if I have the door, it's gonna come down. If I don't, I'll just play like 2 vanilla copies of it, clock kick, maybe like the icy tail, something like that. And like it has good finishing options, I think, in that regard. As opposed to like the standby one where it doesn't try to like kill you as much.
The only really sad part of it is being a clock kicker, it is encouraged that you obviously front attack something and kill it when it's placed aboard, which you're ideally doing at level 2 to get it into memory, because it does not do its combo until it is in memory.
Yep.
So if you ever front attack at level 2 and your opponent does have the anti-change and the willingness to pay cost for that, you can get a little bit messed up with that, but that's why the deck has contingency options, the other finisher options to kill them, but there is no way to protect it from anti-change, unfortunately, with what the set has. So that'll
I
always
think that's perfectly fine though, because if you think about it, in JP format, they already don't really run anti-changes as much as they do here in like English.
Yeah.
And the second thing is it gives you another option on like a if you like get swinged up to level 3 early, you can like just like play 1 or 2 of them, play like a healer or something if you need to heal, and then you could just swing out, and the next turn you can like make like a presentable finisher turn with them.
I think I was actually gonna say something along those lines of if you do, you can do it from level 3 with the icy tail off finisher. Because it free plays, you can play that out, and maybe even play 2 of them out. Free play 1 or 2 of the red hoods, get them into memory that turn, which you don't need the 2-1 assister on board at that point if you're level 3 already. And then those will go to memory at the end of turn, and you have one of the things backstage and one of them front stage or tap counter if they don't respect it. Or actually, you would probably want to put 2 of them front stage so that there's 2 lanes they have to attack into.
Yeah, I think it being able to present a like kind of decent like sandbag turn or like also like kind of decent finisher turn without climax is like what is like an important piece to if it is going to ever be successful. It does have those options at least.
Yeah.
The level 1 combo is kind of broken. It carries both of these decks. Yippee.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
level
does
1
make sense.
combo's definitely carrying both of these.
Look, I'm just saying, as much as I think the level 1 combo is as broken as it or as good as it is, I still think no matter what, the level 3 early play, the Alice is just
That card
the
is
best
nuts.
card in the whole set.
Yeah.
I would rate that card the best card in the whole set.
I agree. There's a reason it's run at 4.
Okay. Let's in quotations talk about Raise Zero. There's not a lot to talk about here, if I'm being completely honest.
This deck's
So I
pretty
think this is gonna be
locked
the
in when it
fastest one,
does.
but this deck is
Yeah.
incredibly linear. We talked about it last time. There's not a lot to talk about. It just has a finisher that kills you, a level 1 combo that pluses you. Like that's at the board at the end of the day, that's all it does. There's no real innovation here. All the lists are very similar. They're all slamming 4-ofs. We're probably not going to see this deck list change for a while until if a ban list answers.
Until a ban list shows up, you're not going to see it change, and you're going to see it win.
It's doing good.
It's not good
It
enough
sure
to ban
is.
is the problem. It's just
What?
chilling. It's not good enough to ban is the problem. It's just hanging out. It doesn't do anything offensive.
I mean, yeah. If it, like I said, if they do, then it'll stay the same. There's a similar list we'll talk about not changing as much, but yeah, like I said, this deck list won't ever change. It's just gonna be the same. If they decide to hit it, it'll change at that point. If they don't, then it's gonna stay the same.
Oh, are we talking about ReZero now?
We're talking
Yeah,
about
we're talking
ReZero.
about-
we're talking
Oh
about
yeah, that's
ReZero.
gonna get banned. Never mind.
Yeah,
I thought we
I
were
was
talking
like,
about
what are you talking about?
You're
I
like,
was like,
oh,
I was
yeah,
not going to worry
Nikkei's
about
Oh,
it.
my
getting
bad.
banned.
I was on the Nikkei tab still. My bad.
No,
my bad.
no,
yeah,
no.
Rem. At least the
Rem kills you.
stalkers. The stalkers need to get shot, and then we can see if
Yeah.
the deck's not offensive after that, which it probably still is.
I think even if
And
they
the
shoot
stalkers
stalkers
existing are going to guarantee we never actually have deck space to do anything interesting anyways.
This might
It's
be-
so good, you just slam it.
This might just be following Bunny Girl's lead, and this might be the next
finisher.
deck in line for the 2 of. Yeah.
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
set
probably
has
would.
nothing for off finishers, so if that happens, it's pretty sad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's go next.
Yippee.
Yuru.
We have Yield Yuru Camp. God, I love this deck, and this list that I have now attempted to play instead of me running my 2/2 counter, which I was very sad to take out. This list feels pretty good.
You want to
so the list that I'm familiar with.
explain
Wait,
that
what?
change? Explain that change really
Yeah,
quick.
yeah. So, well, it's not really a change, I guess. Japan has actually been kind of on this list for a little bit. I mean, there's been some like minor differences here or there, but the biggest change, which I think we also talked about in the last video, is that they're running the +2 Ricky now, as opposed to like a normal Ricky. I think like there's only like maybe a list here that runs a normal Ricky. I'm trying to see if there is one. No, I don't think so. But pretty much around the +2 Ricky, because this deck's kind of just content with having cards at this point. You'll pretty much fill your hand with whatever, because the card quality for you is pretty good. It has a decent play pattern when you're at your level 3, because the difference between this and the OG Ricky, where if you're playing a true Ricky on your level 3 turn, you would like slam it and then you have to play over it. At least this one you can play over it, clock yourself, and then you can like play over it with the clock swapper to put in the alarm card, the effective rearrange. So the other thing to mention is that the level 3 blue healer is like a lot better than I thought it was. I'm already okay with 2 or less heals, or 2 or less early plays. But the way that this deck like functions is without how much resources you make and the ability to also manipulate your clock. You can like make it so that you can play like if you're at 2-3, you can like heal twice because this is a heal to clock to hand, and then you can like basically stack the alarm on the top of your clock as like your last damage.
Right.
I think was it against you, Jake, that we had
You
that
just
game?
kept healing down forever and putting the alarm back on top. Yes. Yeah, you
Yeah.
did like 5 times, and we had an actual. I think I was at level 3 for 3 turns. You were at level 2 for 3 turns.
Yeah. Man, this deck it's just so cool. I really like this deck. There's just a lot of interesting lines you have to get to go to with like the finisher turn. Being the cancel burn race stander is like crazy when you have check 2 on attack rearrange. You just get to modulate your damage however you want.
This is one of the most skill expressive 1k1 decks I've seen in a long time.
Yeah,
For sure. The deck actually has a lot of
It's that
There's
player skill
yeah.
a lot of options that are not easy to set up necessarily. I mean, they're intuitive if you know what to do, but things can get sticky, and this deck can get weird game states. But if you're a talented player, this deck is very effective.
one of the coolest decks in that meta for right now.
Yeah, I do think this deck is going to be really strong in this format now that we don't really have to contest against a board. Our level 1s kind of are just kind of free now. We can get our on reverses pretty much whenever we want now. Which is like really good that we're not in like a standby format. So I do think this deck will excel. And like you said, only as much as like a player can play it because it is a little bit harder to play. There's things you have to keep track of and things that are going on, how to set up your finisher turn properly and stuff like that. Because going 3 wide with your finisher isn't as easy as it sounds because it is a ditch 2. So you do have to have like accumulated a lot of cards and it doesn't plus on play or anything like that. So
To the benefit of the deck, Bushy Road also hasn't been printing many very strong, if at all existent, JCs and Belrickies. So there's not a whole lot of hate going around in that regard to this deck.
People
right
aren't
now.
worried about on reverse too often anymore. This deck might be the reason to be, but
I mean,
aren't playing
people
around it as
would
much.
be. I feel like people would be running JCs.
I mean, you're right.
and
They would just be
Belrickies
running
if they
those
were
regardless.
good.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
they just aren't printing like dual profiles that are
anymore.
good about them right now.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I think that's enough for that one. We'll move on to the next one. Talking about a little bit more 1k1 decks here. Got the Shmuma Musume, Azurlane, and the Pro Sakai. These are just once again reference sheets, and then we're pretty much going to talk about the rest of the decks below them. What is the first one here?
Azurlane is first.
Azurlane. So
Yes.
there's a lot. There's a we're not fully on cats as much.
Yeah.
People aren't playing cats.
The
Wow.
only
No.
reason they're not playing cats is because
They
they can't
colorblind
run
them.
cats.
Oh, they
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
We still believe they can. They could.
can. They
No.
could.
JC is proven we can't.
They can't. Yeah, they do.
JP is
And then
coward.
they reveal 2 cats and say, "Oh,
That's
sad."
fine. It's worth it.
I mean, what's revealing 2 cats off the twin driver than something?
They got the damage off the cats at the beginning of the game. It's
Exactly,
fine.
that's what I'm saying. Your opponent's already gonna be at 3-5 by the time you resolve combo, anyways.
Don't worry.
Yeah. So. Yeah, Bushy Road released yet another oversized set that had 4 trial decks. So there's more boats than ever in the harbor, and they're back with the vengeance, I guess.
Yeah.
Write that one down. Was that the one you were waiting to say? No.
He
Yeah,
was so
something like
proud of
that.
it. He was
Yeah.
so proud.
No, I gotta take it where I can get it.
That's fair. That's fair.
But as for what these decks are doing, the 8 pants is probably the highlight for most people
Yeah.
of this deck because there's a finisher that's kind of cheaper rem if you believe in your deck.
Let's go kind of gambling.
Yeah, it's basically a twin drive finisher. For 8 stock, you can tri-lane this, and it will trigger twice on attack, so it refunds its cost to pay 2. But per character that is blue or yellow you trigger, you will 3. They have to construct their deck into blue and yellow, primarily.
Yep.
Hopefully, if you're sane and not crazy like some people in the chat might be.
Just run the cats.
I don't.
I hate
run-
cats, by the way,
I also
and I
hate
hate the
cats.
set.
I
Run the
Yeah.
cats.
Everybody should hate cats,
Yes.
including the people who play it. We play it and we hate ourselves. Yeah. But yeah, they've gone with 8 pants primarily because the options for running choice bottom ends in this set kind of sucks.
Yeah, they're not. They're not as good.
They refuse to give us good choice advantage combos. There's a half decent one, but it relies on expending stock as part of its benefit. So yeah, they've settled on 8 pants.
It's mostly a choice between. It looks like if you're for the level 1, it's Bremerton or the new Anchorage combo.
Yeah.
Bremerton just kind of says sometimes we'll swing face at you because we're an experienced deck, so we get to swing for 3 or 4 soul at level 1.
Yeah, often a deck swinging for 4 at level 1, and the most popular one I think is the Anchorage, which is search 2, and your opponent gives you 1.
Yeah.
They're just relying on the deck thin for that one.
I have tried both, and the Anchorage, I do agree, does feel like a little bit better in terms of deck control.
Yeah. The other interesting deck to come out of it is 8 standby Azure Lane found a new finisher, and they said we're not 8 standby, we're 7 standby, and they put in the Unicorn finisher. It's for free. It's a free finisher effect of just mill 2, burn 1 per soul trigger milled. It's basically the second half of Gura's combo.
Yeah.
But the center one gets to do it 3 times, right?
The center gets to do it
Yes,
3
center
times.
gets to do it 3.
Oh, yeah, gambling the finisher side. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, every damn
All
finisher in this set
gambling.
wants to gamble.
They
It helps
did-
that there's decent standby, like accenting. There's decent cards in yellow that help accent the standby deck, so it kind of makes sense that this is where they went. Those cards also have soul triggers, so it
Yeah,
kind of makes sense that this is where this
It's,
went.
Do they have an efficient way to get the climax? Is there a reason they're able to run it? Or are they just
There
baiting
is
they'll
a
find it?
card. There is a card that can do it. They don't run it. It looks like it's an experience 8 on play, pay 1. Grab the
Oh,
climax.
I see.
It's experience 8 because it has like 3 different options, and it's a weird card.
This might
So
be
they're
one of
even
the
gambling
ways
if
to
they'll
get
get their
it.
finisher, basically.
This is the yeah, you hold it and you pray kind of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I mean,
okay.
Yeah.
I've seen.
I mean, I've
people
played decks
run-
like that before. It's
I've
just
seen.
It's
people
also
run like 2 choice just to make sure they can get the
yeah.
finisher too.
It's the idea of the deck is that it's going to try to do most of the same thing that Azure Lane 8 Standby was doing before. They're going to put most of their resources into the Neg Soul, and they have some extra backups as well. I can't tell if this list is running it or not, but they have a heal backup they can run now. They have a burn backup they can run now, so they're probably going to be leaning more on those for the most part, and the finisher's just there. It's there if it happens.
It's a, if you
It's
get
free.
it, if it happens, great finisher.
I do
Not the
think
game
this
plan.
this deck did get like kind of weaker because it is the anti standby deck as like it's known for, and I think like with not a ton of standby in the format, I do think like the list overall is probably a little bit weaker than like something like the 8 pants deck. So I don't expect it to perform as much. But I mean, it's like I expect it to perform as much as like
Saya, hopefully.
yes, yeah, pretty much. Josiah might be a little higher for me.
Yeah.
But for something like this, yeah, it'll pop up here and there, but I don't think it's gonna be like any. I don't think this set is gonna be doing anything super threatening like at its current moment right now.
It's better than what it was before, but it's still a stock swap lacking set that just pushes damage. And speaking of pushing damage, shoutouts to this deck list in the bottom right. 8-bar face slam Azure Lane. Let's go.
built on hopes and dreams.
Oh, that is.
Cards,
That is yeah.
cards. The
Cards,
deck.
can watch
then
our
cards and
last
cards.
our last stream where Nick and I prayed, and he revealed 4 or 5 climaxes in a turn, and kind of cried about it.
Yeah, no, I went for a finisher turn, and I drew like climaxes, my mills. Yeah, and it's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey,
Yeah.
the deck, the cool part about that deck, quote unquote cool part about that deck is there's a level 1 combo that has you get to run 8 copies of level 1 combo and they like bond to each other. It's kind of cool. And then you
Yeah, they
place
give you
cats
cards.
instead. And you
And
place
place
cats instead. And you
Yeah.
slam the bar, and you're maybe doing the backstage version of that combo with cats up front, and
Yippee.
yeah, they
Yeah.
die.
Don't need stock with Taiho. We'll just take random cards.
Yeah,
All right, that's enough Azur Lane.
no more
Let's
Azure
talk about
Pain.
something that I'm just sad about.
Uma
Uma
Musume.
Musume. So nothing in particular has majorly happened with this deck other than they got a little tiny decision they had to make with their deck list. The tiny decision has reverted them to the finisher I hated the most, and so that's the only reason why I'm sad. But this might be just one of the best decks in the entire format, so
Still extremely strong. Hit didn't do
Yeah.
all that much. Changed what
They
they're doing, but they're
man,
still
this
doing
they
is
it.
lost
combo.
they lost their ditch 2 draw 2, which you can see in the bottom left list on the door finisher. Which is part of the reason why they lost it for the meta list is because that deck kind of relies on that ditch. The door finisher kind of relies on that ditch 2 draw 2 as part of like the core like leverage of the deck in the mid game for getting the pieces you need and getting some of the deck speed you need. So that was how that deck found the event, which it is now ban listed against. So you can't run those together. So that deck can't find the event consistently, and as it turns out, the event is why you play Uma Musume.
Yeah.
So they've gone back to a finisher that will let you on play check up to 5 cards and take anything, so you can find the event and hopefully 2 burn 2s or a burn 2 and a burn 1 before you go for combo. So that's where the deck has arrived. They've gone back to set 1 finisher primarily because yeah, door finisher. I mean, you can still run it. I think
That
that's
dude
still a
is
solid
so
deck.
bad.
The deck
It was
is
just-
Yeah,
just-
set 2
The
kind
deck
of doesn't
is
exist.
set 1 with set 2 good cards. Now.
Set 2 early play
Set
healer and
two
brainstorm.
event. Yippee, the event.
It's on a set 2 event. That's a
That's
set
not
1
right.
event.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
Right. That's
They took
crazy.
the early play healer and a brainstormer from set 2 and said, "That's good. You can leave now."
Wild.
I think they
Yeah.
got like some good. One thing I saw on just a couple of decks, I think they got some good, like better options in red level zeros. I think I've seen some people try to splash in more red just so they can get the
Stock swap
be a
more
little more
consistently.
consistent with the stock swap. Yeah.
Right.
That's fair. That makes sense.
Shout outs to this top left list. Oh, wait, no, they are running the stock swap. It's just a 1 of in the bottom right. Glared to hell and back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This deck kills you. I think
This deck kills
Yeah.
you.
It is
that or
very
it cancels too
efficient.
much and goes into double loss.
Yeah, it's yeah. It's very efficient on its finish return, and just whittling away at your health, solitaring for like 7 minutes to probably kill you meticulously. It's not the most violent thing in the world, but it is one of the most precise things in the format. So you're probably gonna die to it. It has stock swaps. You can't run away from it like that.
Good.
Yeah.
What do we got here? Oh yes, ye old pro Sakai. We
Yeah.
did in fact talk about this last time.
So
What's changed?
Well, not much changes with this deck. That's kind of its whole thing. Because of the event package in the middle, you don't really get to change a whole lot of cards. Both decks are back on running either 8 or 7 plus 2 reverse rickies, so that's cool. We're doing those packages. The deck on the right's at least a little interesting. It's trying to force a stock shuffle into the deck by playing exactly 1 stock shuffle and 3 level 3 off finisher Mocha 2s. Sure. I feel like there should be better cards you could tech for that, but
What's
it's
the
an
cost on
idea.
I like the idea.
Pay 1, ditch 1, Mocha 2.
Oh, so it's the
Well,
same
same as
cost.
Emu, basically.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I like the idea of trying to fit the stock shuffle, but
I like the idea. There's also a Fumio in blue. I've actually tested on that version before. Both of them, there's justification because it helps make Emu a lot scarier if you can get one of them off.
yeah.
I
What's
just
the on play of the Mocha?
heal.
Okay.
Just the healer.
There's like timelines where the side attack on it is pretty dangerous.
I feel like if I wanted to do this, I would run the green clock kick that's ditch 2, which is a different cost, and it salvages on play. feel like I'd rather that, but I don't know.
Oh, that sounds pretty good.
Still only a 10k clock kick, but I mean, you get reverse.
Sounds
issue
pretty
is
good.
that like precision feel like the clock kick would make the most sense because obviously you can, if they're at 3-0, you're gonna
2
still
emus and a
be-
clock kick is sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like the precision, like it's so hard to say that you need it when you could just triple emu anyways.
Yeah, that's what I
Exactly.
was
It's
thinking.
hard. That's been my experience with these. It's hard to justify if you're on the emu finisher. Maybe more justification if you were playing the Cocochino, but the deck that's running the stock shuffle is the emu deck. So.
Like if your opponent's 2-6, like the clock kick could be really nice because rather than hoping that a 3 doesn't cancel outright, you just take your burn 1 and you get a 3 canceled outright
Yeah, that would be
later
the
anyway.
idea.
Yeah.
But I think the real thing that happened here was this guy just wanted to sleeve up something slightly different.
Yeah, he was
I
trying to
wanted
do something
steal
different.
something.
It's really hard to change this deck.
Yeah,
You can like
everything-
swap out 2 zeros, and you can swap out the finisher, and almost everything else is like pretty much locked.
He tried.
There's just too many events. He
tried
did.
something.
I like the idea of trying to make a stock shuffle or Fumio work.
I
It's just-
appreciate any
zip
different
it.
in this kind of list.
Mhm.
exactly. It's probably about all that really needs to be said on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool idea.
We got Fairy Tale, and I'm gonna put a small disclaimer. Most of us do not know what this does, so we're just gonna be kind of looking
We-
at cards.
Oh,
here.
We
time
read
to
the
pull up the
cards, and we were
cards.
not very impressed.
Hold
on.
I,
Yeah,
well,
we
I,
just
I
kinda
just didn't
didn't
read
care.
it.
I
I don't even know
have-
like half the
I
stuff here.
have cards in front of me.
I see.
So,
I mean, the thing I'm gonna ask here is are both of these lists on the 1-0?
they are
Lucy
both
thingy?
on that 1-0 Lucy. It is
That makes
just
sense.
Sorry,
memory deck.
not the combo, not the combo,
Not
the burn one.
combo? Which one?
The burn
Oh,
one,
the burn
Lucy.
one. Yeah.
Which one's that?
I don't think either of them are running that. Wait,
Oh my
no.
God.
My bad. Nope. Yep. Neither of them are running it.
All right, you guys can talk. I'm gonna leave.
Yeah, that's fair.
What's
This
the
is-
point without the funny burn one?
It's like not even funny. Oh, wait, no. Like, never mind.
So-
The one on the right is running it. The one on the right is running it
What
at 2
is
of
Which card
this
is it?
burn one? This,
It's the Lucy on the top right of the right list.
oh,
It's just on play, you and your opponent burn one, Ty.
It
That's
has
a
another line
1-0.
of text. It has another line of
Yeah.
text.
Oh,
It says you
does.
can't run more than 4 copies of it in the card. It's a reprint
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
interesting.
So it's literally just free burn one by burning yourself one. And it's a 1-0.
Oh,
Mutually
Oh.
assured destruction.
It's kind of crazy.
I mean, like, yeah, you just play it when your opponent's at 3-6, and you say, "Hey."
And it is a reprint
No,
of
you
a card
play it
from the
before
second ever
that.
side of the game.
Play
You play it
that?
before that. You play it when you're like 2-3. Your opponent's deck is shit, and you clock yourself. Hi, I'm level 3. Here's my finisher. You're also like middle level 3 already because of all these burn
That
ones.
makes more
Die.
sense.
It's like the scariest version of clocking yourself 3 times to get your finisher turn you've ever seen. Because now it's just doing damage for no
that's
reason.
So fair.
The caveat here is that the finishers they printed for this set are kind of sad.
They're very
not
sad.
great.
So
The one on the left is the most acceptable one, probably.
Yeah.
It's burn 2, stack 1.
it does need memory, so it does play into memory a bit. It needs 3 different cards of memory to resolve
Yeah.
that effect.
This set was kind of known for memory back in the day, so it's not the biggest deal, and it makes sense that they've leaned into that for the flavor of it.
I'm back. Did we finish talking about Fairy Tale?
We are not.
Yeah.
We can't
Oh, we're
be.
still here. Okay.
Hey, we saw that they are playing it. They're playing it in both decks.
They
Actually,
have 2 of it.
Oh, they are
Yeah,
playing.
they are
it.
playing
Okay,
in both
okay.
decks.
I'm
It's in
slightly
both
more
decks.
engaged now.
It's not on both decks, is it? It's
yeah,
only on the right
left,
deck.
No, on the left. On the left, it's in the. Oh wait, yeah, it's in
not on
the
the bottom left.
It's not in
It's
the
It's
not-
not.
this is zero,
That's
that's
not
Ricky.
it.
I
Oh,
think it's a
that
Ricky.
looks really similar. Okay.
To put it
It
shortly,
does.
for my personal opinion on this deck is I'm gonna eventually read the cards. I just haven't decided to do yet. But that was the only reason why I wanted to see the list is I wanted to see that card be windmill slammed as a 4 in like every deck.
Well,
They're cowards for not-
unfortunately, it is
Unfortunately.
a 2 of right now in this
I
deck, at
see.
least on the right.
Yeah.
What is it? So it's just bar, pants, and bar.
Door.
Pants
Door.
or door. I don't really think either deck is doing to anything like worthy, really.
No,
I mean,
this set's not gonna do
We'll
anything
see if the set
incredible.
evolves in any way. Like I said,
Yeah.
if the set's doing anything crazy, it has to be with that card.
Yeah, that card is its chance of doing something. for
Credit
sure.
where credit is due. The one of the first, if not the first, set of Weiss Schwarz had a few cards where they didn't know what they were doing. So it was hard for them to make this set too good, without maybe breaking the game. Because if this set had a concerning finisher, it probably would not be okay.
It was definitely intended design-wise because they reprinted the little possible problem card anyways, so
Yeah.
it makes
Well, they
sense.
also have level 1 tap counter,
Yeah, they
which
do have
isn't
level
the
1 tap
biggest
counter.
problem in the world.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if they're running a bar level 1 combo, it's maybe slightly concerning if there's
What's the
lines that
cost
come
on
up.
I don't think there's a huge difference between
What's
level
the
1 and
It's-
level 2
cost on
tap
the tap
counter.
counter?
It's pay for ditch a climax.
That's
But
right.
it's a
It's on a
1-0,
1-0,
so
yeah.
it's pay 4 only and ditch 2 basically. Which if you like if like in this
It's-
pants bar list, if you trigger double pants and you're like, oh crap, I need to pay those out. What can I do? I guess I can just stop one of their level 1 combo lanes. Cool.
Yeah,
We can
it's
revisit
counter.
this when we know a little bit more about the setup.
Yeah, we'll give them a
Like
little
that.
more time to see if they get something.
we just
cooking.
had to
Yeah.
have it here just because it is new, and we'll talk more about it if once, like I said, once we get a little more knowledge.
It's time for Mario's sad time.
What is my sad time?
Shin
Oh yeah,
Chan.
my Shin Chan.
Here's your dead body.
Yeah. So in the last video, it unfortunately did get cut out, but what happened in the ban list was basically Shin-Chan, a 2-3 event that just makes it so your opponent can't deal damage. It got put to 1, and so now we're here. Shin-Chan was a kind of defensively slanted deck with both of their builds. They had a Pan standby deck and an 8 standby deck that heavily relied on those things as being like their way to cheat the game pretty much, because you would put 2 of those in memory and then just say like, look at your opponent and say you can't win the game now. And now we're here, and we have the same decks. We just only have one of the event, and
Man, it's not gonna do nearly as much.
I'm just gonna be sad looking at it. Now the deck wasn't like a super high tier. It was definitely a threatening list or threatening deck, but I don't think it was anything like the standby decks that it was seeing. So it's correct for them to hit it to make sure that it doesn't stop this 1K1 format. Because man, if this thing was illegal in the 1K1 format, there'd be no decks that'd be able to stop the 2-3 event.
The event kind of is bad design. The set was just
It is
balanced
bad
enough to where
design,
it was
but look
fine.
at it. It's on Shin-Chan. You
It's
can't
really
tell me that's
cool.
bad design. Look at this guy. Look at the little guy.
The art's really funny on it. I like the little showdown going on.
So the biggest change here, aside for at least like the list, is that some of them have gravitated. The standby decks have gravitated to running like a 2 of green card that I believe like I want to say like it bounces back to hand, gives you like a stock, and then it's just kind of like a beater. And some lists are deciding to run the 1-0 event that was used to be known in the 2 soul decks, which is basically it's just a mill 4, or you can optionally pitch it plus 2 other cards to like burn 4, I think, burn 3.
The 1-0?
The 1-0 event, yeah, the yellow event.
That can be ditch 2, burn 4 or 3?
Yeah, it's not or. I'm trying to remember which one it is. It's supposed to be burn 3 or burn 4. It's just one or the other.
This is a 3-0 event in Fujimi Fantasia Bunko that you were describing. So that is a little crazy if that's on a 1-0 event.
Yeah, I believe it's ditch 2, burn 3, and then it has the optional of what do we call Operation Strix? Yeah, it's basically that.
Does it only do the burn at level 3 at least?
I don't believe so. I could double check for you.
Is it like one of those cards that says if your level is below 3, do Operation Strikes? If you are level 3, do the burn?
I want to say no. But yeah, like let me just double check. I guess.
Okay.
It
Because that sounds a little too good.
They used to run it in the 2 soul deck. It's Oh yeah, okay. Choose one of the following. It's Operation Strix, and then second effect is it's ditch 3, burn 3. So you ditch
Okay,
4.
so it's
little
higher
more costed.
costed.
That
It is
makes
higher
sense.
costed. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, like ditch your
That's cool.
entire hand. But
Yeah.
I mean that's cool though. That's
that's
an
more
option.
rational.
yeah, it just gives you a little more options, a little more flexibility. But yeah, I think it being replaced for the or giving more slots to that is pretty good because it gives it a little bit more consistent way to mill for some of the lists. You do have to splash yellow, which is kind of a problem, but at least it does have a basically 3K vanilla bonder that just ditch bonds to it, so
Yeah.
it has a good bonder.
Not bad. That's cool.
Other than that, that's pretty much it. Nothing's really changed too much about the list other than that they just had to take out the events and put it as the one of win more card. If you see it, you probably win your game. If you don't, you're sad.
Yeah.
And yeah,
One of is insane.
Yeah.
I don't think it doesn't look like most of the lists are running it at one of. It seems like the two on the left are, and then the two on the right gave up on it.
Well, I mean, when you only have it as a one of.
Yeah, I mean it's fair, but
It is fair,
You know,
but at the
you
same time,
win
the
the
card's
game.
so powerful. I feel like you just slam it and don't care, and say if I get it, I get it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I'm in the belief if you are splashing in green in any form, you have to play it. Like it's.
yeah, I guess you have to be split. You have to have green. That's
And
true. If you
I
don't
will
have
let you
green,
know that most of the decks are running green because of the Ricky's green. So
the Ricky's green. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like such an insane card that you can't really play around. There's no reason not to slam one. It saves your life.
Exactly,
At some
I do
point in your time
agree.
playing.
Yeah. It's just, yeah.
All right, let's.
I
Look
can't
at-
imagine there's a 50th card you care about enough to say I don't want that
That's what I'm
chance.
saying, exactly. Yeah. All right, Albuta.
The
This is
list-
another deck
Yeah.
that has been hit, but the list has not changed as much as you would think, aside from the cards that they decided to unhit.
They literally, people who play the deck literally said, we do not care and we will continue to play the same deck.
Correct.
The main thing that's changed is the people have mostly added a lot more memory options. They've gone back to the stock package, which is fine. And they kind of added in more.
I'm biggest hater of the stock.
Oh my god,
It's so wild.
It's fine. Hey, okay, so I am getting with the stock package right now. Okay?
Finally.
There is not as much stuff that I care to run right now.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just kind of like, yeah, I can run Stockita now. It's fine.
You don't need to as aggressively hoard. You just don't have to like play stock low options anymore. So
Yeah.
It's
you
the
just run
fact that
it,
the
and you're
2-1
always gonna
event
double.
is now free, and the 2-1 event is the best card in their damn deck.
Yeah, you get to your finisher's so cheap now that you can just afford to start cutting down some of the cards that were supposed to fix problems earlier.
Yeah.
Um,
So the main thing that changed, the level 3 Mai was hit to 2, so it does hurt consistency and it hurts our top end by a lot, and it hurts our consistency by not as much as you would think, mostly because we still have that 2-1 event, which will just grab firm waiting, and then a lot of people opt to just play two of the 2-1 Mai that will just find it. So
Yeah,
As
so
long-
you have ways to basically find it.
Yeah,
either
it
zone,
is-
pretty much.
is-
As long as, like, it's not your first stock of the game.
Exactly. It's very easy to
Yeah.
find. A lot of people I've seen they're in the bottom right list. You can see it next to the early play. A lot of people are now slotting in the 3-2 TD Mai, which is a check X and a pay 2 ditch 2 on reverse burn 5.
Oh
my god.
Hell yeah.
The main reason is just for that check X and the fact that it is an off finisher that's in red.
It will do something as an off finisher.
It will do
It will
something.
remove a climax from their deck.
It sure will.
Yeah, people kind of said, we don't care. We will continue to play Mai.
I do think that something that's noteworthy, at least like just for the like last bit of this, 'cause there's not too much to talk about, at least for the deck list.
Yeah.
The play pattern is back. The good play pattern of play Stockita, play event, get double combo, play double combo. Like that play pattern was like the reason why Stockita got banned in the first place, pretty much. Because it's just a really strong play pattern, being able to do that. That making the event free is just, like I said, it's so good because that event is just busted.
Mhm.
And I think I do like what the lists are doing here by playing more early play heals. That just seems correct to me. Because you can basically do the free fresh off the 2-1 and then heal. It's like we talked about in Nikkei. That's just like an insanely strong play pattern to do. Basically healing twice.
That is a good point because the event basically kind of doubles as a heal. And I don't see a lot of people like pushing off finishers as much. Like there are options, but it seems like they're kind of just pushing into the healing more and staying.
Try to stall out, use your memory.
The mid game is a little bit more relevant. You just try to compress, try to hang out.
Yeah.
Not just trying to kill people anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Healing has never been more in formats than now, it seems.
Yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's go to the last deck on here.
Slime.
The
obligatory
one of the
slime.
saddest things. Everybody knows what this deck does. There's not a ton of things to talk about, but we have it here on the bottom here just to kind of briefly go over what has happened. But pretty much they lost Benimaru. And so now they're just kind of here. They're just kind of here hanging out.
They got cards. They're pretty good cards.
What is happening?
This is very similar to Hololive in the we will not die. We would do our best to not die.
Yeah. What is the on play of this finisher that the left list has put in?
The Sohei?
Is it a heal on play?
I'm trying to remember. It's I remember it being like it is a burn 4 finisher, right? That's what it is.
Is it not burn 2?
I don't know.
Oh, burn 2? I can check real quickly.
I'm gonna try and find it too, yeah.
It is a
SOUI, right?
It's in blue, I would assume so.
Yes, I am.
It's this, right?
Is it?
Because as long as it heals, we have found the reason why they're running.
That's kind of fair. Oh, maybe it's not the card I thought it was.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Oh, it's the combo, huh? It's an actual.
Yeah, it's
combo
a literal
of it.
combo.
Okay.
Yeah,
I found it.
Right.
It is in fact a healer. Yes. It heals and then it gets 1500 this turn. Then pay 1, ditch 1. When its opponent becomes reversed, if your stock has 5 or less cards, you may burn 4, and then put that card at the bottom of your. Deal 4 damage to your opponent and put that card at the bottom of your deck.
Oh, that's the one that got eroded in English.
I see. Okay. I see.
I was thinking it was that one. I couldn't tell.
Wait, what's the errata?
It says
you bot deck kick the card you reverse.
So it says what was it? Burn 4 and put the card at the bottom of your deck, not your opponent's deck.
So you put the opponent's card at the bottom of their deck. Okay.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So they just eroded it to say your opponent's.
I need to wait. We hear it.
Yeah,
it's just
it's a healer.
Burn 4.
It's a healer burn 4 that bot decks. It's fine.
It's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
They're just not gonna run a lower level combo, which they really don't need to. That's fine. Sure.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah, I mean the other list I think is literally just running the empty pants, right? Like there's no combo here. Oh no,
Yeah.
They're running it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean this list won't make that much.
The most interesting part of the right list to me is that they don't have 2 Shions. Because you can double Shion still if you run 2.
Well, I think it's the fact that they have a real finisher, right?
No, I'm talking about
the one on the right
list.
doesn't.
Oh, the one on the right. I see.
They're kind of they got 2 Millims and a Shion and saying that's enough. That's crazy.
It's Japanese format. They're running 3 early play healers, so they just have. They're not going to get shot up to level 3, so they can just keep early play healing, right?
Yeah. I guess that's the plan.
Format. Somebody would never be so dishonorable as to not just one in like 2.
We like to heal. Healing's so cool.
We like to heal here.
Yeah, there's just like a variety of cards that Slime gets to run. They're still going to always be able to try to piece it back together to do something.
This deck's probably going to come back into vogue a little bit just because, standby threats, as long as nothing's threatening this deck on board, because especially in this format, it doesn't have the assister to get it any bigger. As long as the decks that threaten it on board go away, this deck comes back more and more to abuse the fact that if their combo lives, they get to, and they cancel, they get to win the game.
Yeah, this is the
Yeah.
literal. Just it's once again, it's kind of like Hololive. It's just if we have Murin, we're still gonna stand.
Yep, we'll be fine. Slime will never die.
But yeah, that's the last couple of deck lists we had to look at. Just gonna swing on to the thanks for watching, guys. As always, leave a like and subscribe if you guys can. We appreciate you guys coming to check out the video. Let us know in the comment below about just any feedback. Did you guys like this new format and whatnot? Once again, follow the Go Back Gaming Facebook and Instagram. And if you guys want any trading card products, Weiss products, you can check out gobackgaming.com. A quick shout out too, because I keep forgetting to put it in these slides, to KeeluahWS. That's what it is, right?
KeeluahWS.
The deck
Keeluah.
list.
Yeah.
Yeah, Keeluah. Thank you for the deck list. Pretty much we got this from the website or the document that that community player has put up. I'll leave the link for it down below so you guys can all check it out. And that's pretty much it. Everyone say goodbye, I guess.
Thanks for watching as always.
Catch you guys in the next one.
Bye.